wake up early morning. There's something sacred about the silence before the world wakes up, when the sky is still dark and everything around you is asleep. That's your moment. That's when champions are made. While others are drowning in dreams, you're wide awake, chasing reality. You're not waiting for the sun to rise. You are the sunrise. You get up before the excuses. You rise before the doubts. This is where self-respect begins, not in words, but in action. Nobody sees you at 4:30 a.m. with tired eyes and a determined heart. But that's the point. You see you. You prove to yourself that you're not like the rest. You're not here for comfort. You're here for conquest. Waking up early isn't just about productivity. It's about owning your life. It's a declaration of war against weakness, laziness, and the version of you that settles for less. Every early morning is a weapon. You don't need a cheerleader. You don't need a crowd. The grind doesn't need an audience. It needs discipline. And when the world finally sees you, it'll be too late to catch up because you've already been running while they were sleeping. Waking up early is not just a habit. It's a declaration. It's the difference between living on offense and living on defense. When you rise before the world, you're not reacting to the day, you're creating it. Early mornings build mental dominance because in those quiet hours before the chaos begins, you choose to win while others choose to delay. Your alarm clock becomes your first battle of the day, and every time you choose to get up instead of snoozing, you train your mind to obey your goals, not your feelings. People who dominate mentally don't just work hard, they start earlier. They gain ground while others are still asleep. They plan when others are lost in noise. They attack when others wait. Every early morning becomes a brick in the foundation of their unbreakable mindset. The world gets louder and more chaotic every day. If you don't own the start of your day, someone else will. Your job, your phone, your problems, they'll all demand a piece of you. But when you start early, you claim the first hour for yourself. That's power. That's control. That's dominance. The weak look for comfort first. The strong look for clarity. The moment you open your eyes early, before the sun, before the noise, you step into a higher level of living. You align your thoughts. You set your tone. You breathe before the world can suffocate you with distraction. Early mornings aren't about how many tasks you complete. They're about who you become. You become sharper, quieter, focused, disciplined. And that discipline leaks into everything. Your work, your words, your posture, your choices. You stop following moods and start following mission. In a world where everyone is running late, chasing time, chasing validation, the person who owns their morning stands alone. Calm, controlled, ahead. That's what mental dominance is. The ability to lead yourself, not just when it's easy, but when it's hard. It's the ability to make decisions that hurt now, but pay off forever. And waking up early is that decision. It hurts. It's uncomfortable, but it gives you back your power. Because if you can beat the bed, you can beat the voice in your head telling you to quit. If you can own your morning, you can own your life. Every day you get up early, you silence the inner coward and awaken the warrior. You remind yourself that you don't need permission, applause, or motivation. You just need purpose. And once you've experienced that silence, that clarity, that strength, you'll never want to go back. Because while the world sleeps, you are rising. While they wait for change, you're becoming it. You lead. You dominate. Win long before the day even starts. It's easy to look good when the world is watching. Anyone can post a highlight. Anyone can smile on camera. But discipline means showing up when no one will ever know you did. It means waking up at 5 a.m. and grinding while the world sleeps. It means doing that workout, reading that chapter, sticking to that plan even when it feels pointless. Because deep down, you know it's not pointless. It's powerful. Every small act of discipline in the dark adds a layer to your armor. Every time you do the hard thing, you're building strength that can't be seen, but will be felt. When you're alone and no one's checking on you, what do you choose? That's who you are. Not your words, not your image. Your choices in the dark define your future in the light. You don't need validation to put in the work. You don't need permission to rise. You don't need eyes on you to give your best. You give your best because you know what you're capable of, because you're chasing a standard, not attention. And that's the difference between those who dream and those who dominate. Discipline doesn't ask for applause. It asks for sacrifice. And the more you embrace that solitude, that quiet grind, the more powerful you become. Because when the pressure hits, you won't crack. Why? Because you've already been through worse in silence. When no one believed in you, you kept moving. When no one clapped, you kept working. That's what makes you dangerous. People see the results and call it talent or luck. But what they don't see is the nights you stayed up studying while others scrolled, the mornings you ran when others slept, the meals you skipped to save, the fun you passed up to build. That's discipline. That's the dark. And that's what creates success. Because when the lights finally do come on, when the moment to perform arrives, you won't need to fake it. You'll already be it. You'll have rehearsed that moment 1,000 times in the dark. You'll stand strong not because you're lucky, but because you earned it. You suffered in silence, so now you shine in strength. And while others are scrambling to catch up, you'll already be miles ahead. Not because you're special, but because you are disciplined. So remember this, if you want the world to see your greatness, you first have to prove it to yourself in the shadows. You have to commit to the process no matter who's watching. You have to fall in love with the work, not just the results. The dark is your training ground. It's your testing ground. It's where you become who you're meant to be. The light doesn't make you successful. It only reveals the truth of who you already are. And when you've been disciplined in the dark long enough, the light won't scare you. It'll recognize you. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. It lulls you into mediocrity. It whispers lies like you deserve to rest, or just one more hour of sleep, or you'll start tomorrow. And that voice, that soft, seductive voice, is the one keeping most people average. Comfort is where dreams go to die. It's where potential stays trapped, because the truth is, comfort sleeps in, but hunger wakes up. Hunger doesn't hit snooze. Hunger doesn't negotiate with weakness. Hunger gets up when it's hard, when it's cold, when it's lonely, when the excuses are screaming. Hunger shows up because hunger wants more. If you want to be uncommon, stop doing what common people do. Common people wait for motivation. Common people follow the crowd. Common people live by feelings. But if you're hungry, you move without motivation. You take action while others hesitate. You embrace pain while others run from it. That's how separation begins. It's not in talent, it's not in luck, it's in the decision to push when everything inside you wants to quit. The uncommon don't crave comfort, they crave results. They wake up early, they stay disciplined, they train when tired, they work in silence because they know the pain of discipline is nothing compared to the pain of regret. Hunger isn't loud, it doesn't need to announce itself. It's that fire inside that burns even when there's no spotlight. It's that quiet voice that says, let's go, when everyone else says, not today. You can't fake hunger. You either have it or you don't. And the way you know is simple. Look at your habits. What do you do when no one's watching? What do you choose when comfort is easy and struggle is hard? That's who you really are. The uncommon don't choose the easy road. They create the road. They build momentum through sacrifice. While others chase pleasure, they chase growth. People say they want success, but they don't want the early mornings, the late nights, the sweat, the failure, the grind. They want the reward, not the responsibility. But hunger doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't ask for permission. It just moves. Because the hunger to win will always beat the desire to rest. The hunger to become something will always crush the need to feel good in the moment. And the more you feed that hunger with action, the stronger it gets. Every day you stay in bed when you should be moving, someone out there is getting better. Someone is building while you're resting. Someone is climbing while you're coasting. The world doesn't slow down for your comfort. It rewards those who fight for their place, who earn their strength, who sacrifice temporary ease for permanent pride. If you want to be uncommon, you have to live uncommon. That means discipline when you're exhausted, focus when you're distracted, effort when it feels pointless. That's the difference between the average and the elite. The world is full of people with potential, but potential means nothing without hunger. Hunger is what turns potential into results. Hunger is what keeps you moving when progress is slow, when no one believes in you, when failure slaps you in the face. Hunger doesn't back down. It adjusts, it adapts, it keeps going, because the goal is too important to quit. The vision is too clear to be blurred by comfort. And if you've got that hunger, you'll know it, because it won't let you settle. It won't let you make peace with average. It won't let you sleep in when there's work to be done. Comfort is easy. Anyone can be comfortable. That's why most people are. But hunger? Hunger is rare. Hunger is ruthless. Hunger is disciplined. And hunger is what changes lives. If you want to break the cycle, wake up with intention, move with urgency, train your mind to crave challenge, not comfort. Because every time you choose discomfort, you're separating yourself from the average. And every time you do what common people won't, you become what common people can't. That's the price. That's the process. And that's the path to being uncommon. So when the alarm rings tomorrow morning, remember this. That moment is your test. It's you versus the world's temptation to stay small. It's not just about waking up. It's about rising with purpose. It's about choosing hunger over habit, discipline over delay, growth over comfort. You weren't born to be ordinary. You weren't built to blend in. You have something inside you that most people ignore. That fire, that drive, that hunger, feed it, protect it. Let it guide you every single day. Because the more you choose discomfort, the more you step into the life most people only dream of. No one will hand it to you. No one will wake you up. That's on you. And every time you show up when it's hard, when it's early, when it's inconvenient, you prove to yourself that you're not common. You're uncommon. You're different. And that difference will become your power. Stay hungry, stay focused, and never let comfort rob you of your potential. The world doesn't need more people who play it safe. It needs more people like you, relentless, disciplined, and absolutely unwilling to settle.